Hey! Give that back, you mangy mutt! I'll have you!
This must be perfect. Now for the arsenic.
This is so heavy. You can do it! I'll help! Thanks, little friend.
Get your filthy paws off my meat, you mongrel! That's for sale!
Imagine a world where grieving parents pose their deceased children on parlor sofas, painting their eyes open for one final, haunting family photograph. A world where butchers chase away stray dogs, only to wipe the diseased, half-bitten meat with a filthy rag and hang it right back up for sale. A world where high society women slowly and willingly poison themselves, scrubbing toxic lead and mercury into their skin just to look pale. In a world where tiny, 5-year-old children are swallowed by the pitch-black earth, forced to push heavy coal carts until their lungs give out. This is not a nightmare. This is the dark, hidden reality of Queen Victoria's London. And to truly uncover the deeply disturbing secrets of this era, we must look through the eyes of the ultimate survivor, an earnest and curious little rat named Remy. Deep in the shadow-drenched, filthy underbelly of the city, Remy sleeps surrounded by dripping cobblestone walls. As faint rays of dusty morning sun peek through the cracks above, his small black eyes open, his rounded nose twitches, sniffing the damp, grimy air of the sewers. Driven by an intense curiosity, he navigates the labyrinth of slime-coated pipes and terrifyingly large grates, avoiding the rushing, toxic wastewater. But suddenly, a deeply foul, rotting stench drifts down from the surface. It is stronger than anything he has ever smelled. Determined to investigate, Remy climbs a rusted iron ladder and pushes his small head through a street grate, getting his first shocking glimpse of the chaotic, smog-filled world above. Before him stretches the River Thames. But it is not water. It is a slow-moving river of toxic mud, thick with dark brown human waste and industrial sludge. A sickening yellow-green fog rises from the rot, enveloping the streets. It is the great stink. The unbearable, eye-watering smell has even forced wealthy politicians to chain the massive wooden doors of Parliament shut, fleeing with perfumed handkerchiefs pressed to their faces. Scurrying away from the river into the bustling streets, Remy is nearly crushed by the massive hooves of a carriage horse. The cobblestone roads are completely overwhelmed, littered with an ankle-deep layer of horse dung and mud. In the middle of this chaos, poor, raggedly dressed children known as crossing sweepers risk their lives, frantically scooping up the fresh muck to clear a path for wealthy gentlemen who simply toss copper coins into the filth. But the filth is not just on the streets. At a crowded public water pump, Remy watches in horror as unaware citizens line up to collect their daily drinking water. The water pouring from the iron pump is visibly murky and discolored, directly contaminated by the river's waste. A ragged man eagerly drinks a cup, completely unaware that he is swallowing the deadly seeds of cholera and typhoid. In the narrow alleys nearby, the sick lie slumped against the walls, while the panicked society desperately clings to herbs and flowers, falsely believing that the bad smells, the miasma, are making them sick rather than the poisonous water they drink every day. Seeking higher ground, Remy stumbles upon a discarded wooden trunk behind a wealthy townhouse. Inside lies a treasure trove of high society cosmetics. But the labels reveal a deadly truth: lead and mercury. Through a window, he watches a terrified, pale, aristocratic woman aggressively applying thick white lead paint to her scarred face, dropping mercury into her eyes to make her pupils dilate. The polished appearances of high society are built on slow, agonizing poison. The bizarre hygiene practices do not end there. From a balcony, Remy looks down into an enclosed courtyard. A less fortunate woman fiercely scrubs her scalp with sharp vinegar and cheap rum to kill lice. In the corner, a washerwoman dips heavy Victorian dresses into a steaming, bubbling vat of collected stale urine, using it to set dyes and bleach fabrics. Even their clothing hides strange secrets, like the split-crotch bloomers fluttering on the clothesline, designed for practicality over scandal beneath their massive hoop skirts. As dusk falls, gas lamps flicker weakly, casting long, menacing shadows. Remy scuffles down into the notorious East End. Despite the strict sexual repression of the era, the dark corners are filled with desperate, poverty-stricken women, forced into a hidden prostitution trade just to survive the brutal conditions of the city. Squeezing through a crack into a seemingly quiet middle-class home, Remy senses an eerie stillness. In the dimly lit parlor, a large wooden camera points at a velvet sofa. A grieving mother weeps quietly into a black lace handkerchief while holding a perfect, motionless pose. Beside her sits her deceased child, held upright by hidden metal clamps, their lifeless face illuminated by the blinding flash of magnesium powder. It is the macabre reality of Memento Mori, a desperate and chilling attempt to preserve the dead. Fleeing the haunting silence of the house, Remy finds himself surrounded by the deafening roar of a massive textile factory. Children as young as 5 crawl under massive, moving looms, risking their lives every second to collect fallen cotton. The nightmare continues in the pitch-black tunnels of the coal mines, where tiny, soot-covered children cough violently as they push heavy carts through the dark, their childhoods entirely stolen by the wealthy elite. As a new morning breaks over the smog-choked city, Remy witnesses one final horror at the local market. A milkman looks around suspiciously before pouring crushed white chalk and toxic borax into his milk churns to make the watery liquid look whiter. A terrifying mark of prosperity masking a fatal danger. Down the street, at the butcher's shop, large slabs of raw meat hang completely exposed, heavily covered in black soot and swarming with flies. Sitting on a high brick wall, overlooking the endless sea of chimneys pumping black ash into the sky, the earnest and curious little rat comes to an overwhelming conclusion. Queen Victoria's London is a city of illusions, and beneath its extravagant, polished exterior lies a deeply disturbing, filthy, and heartbreaking reality.